The Motorola Moto G55 is one of the new smartphones from Motorola, and this one comes with a 50 megapixel main camera with OIS. You got a 5000 mAh battery that can easily last you a whole weekend, and also the price, that one isn't too bad. So today we will check out everything this phone has to offer, and first up, the unboxing. Similar to the G75 and G35, you will get the Moto G55 with a clear silicone case. I got it in the color forest gray, which has a plastic backside, but you can also get it in the colors smoky green and twilight purple, which both come with a vegan leather backside. Inside of the box you will also find a USB Type A to USB Type C cable, some of the paper stuff, and a SIM pin, but no extra charging brick. With the Moto G55 we finally have a G model that isn't that big. This one is 16.1 centimeters long and has a 6.49 inch display. That's actually a size that can fit easily in one hand. You have a glass front, which is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, a plastic frame, and at least on my model you have a matte plastic backside. So you don't really need to worry about any fingerprints that you might see on here. This phone has a dual camera setup with a 50 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, but we will talk about these ones later on in the video. So these cameras also don't stick out as much and don't sit on an extra element like with many other smartphones, which has the benefit that you don't get any dust in between the cameras. As well as you need to know that this phone has a water repellent design and weighs in at 179 grams. So like I said, you have a 6.49 inch LCD display with full HD plus resolution and a refresh rate of 120 Hz, which can also be lowered to just 60 Hz. You've got a screen to body ratio of 86%, which isn't the best. You can definitely see some bigger bezels on this phone, especially the one that you have on the bottom end of the display, but at least viewing angles don't change that much when you tilt your phone to the side. You have a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels and you can easily watch all of your movies on this phone. The colors look poppy and vivid, you got smooth animations thanks to the 120 Hz display, and just the contrast isn't the best as you only have the LCD display, but it's good enough for a quick train ride when you have nothing else to do. The Moto G55 also has some different display settings, like you can change the display color to vivid and natural, and you can also adjust the color temperature. There's the night light and you have different screensavers. You got this colorful one, you can use some of your photos from your gallery, and there is the normal clock. It's either a digital or an analog style. You can choose. Now as for the sound, so we got Dolby Atmos support in which you have different sound profiles like for listening to music and watching a movie, but you can also create a custom one as well. You have Crystal Talk AI, which reduces background noises for your calls, and sound-wise, this phone gets loud with the stereo speaker setup, and the quality of the sound is decent as well. The Moto G55 has a 5000 mAh battery cramped inside, which easily lasts you a whole weekend, depending on your usage. On continuous video streaming, it will last about 15 to 16 hours, which is definitely pretty good. Charging this phone isn't that bad either. You got 30 watts wired charging, which takes about 30 minutes to charge from 0 to 45%, but there's no wireless and no reverse wireless charging. By the way, if you like my content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. Also, you will find the link to the smartphone down below in the description. As for the feature side of things, this phone has a fingerprint sensor, which you will find on the side button, and you have a face detection, and both work pretty good for most of the time. I did have some problems with the fingerprint sensor like 2 or 3 times, but still not bad. The Moto G55 comes with just 256 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM, and if we take a peek into the storage settings, we will see that about 15 gigs are already used up by the system. What I also don't like that much about this phone is that we have quite a few pre-installed apps on here like Bingo Blitz, Block Blaster, Stack Ball, and some more games, but at least you can quickly deinstall them. You have the Moto Unplugged feature, which is actually a cool tool to stay focused on your work and not get distracted as much by your smartphone. With this feature enabled, you only get to see a few chosen apps on your display, and if you want to end the session, you need a password. You have the Moto app with which you can customize your display, like you can change the icon size and the font style. You can change your wallpapers over here and change the grid layout. You got some gesture controls. With this one you can quickly open up the camera by twisting your camera twice, or if you shake your hand you can open up the flashlight and turn it back off, of course, and then you can open up the camera by double pressing the side button and flip the phone to enable the D&D mode. Just to mention a few features. This phone does have a game booster, to which we'll get in a second, and an attentive display which prevents the screen from dimming or going to sleep while you're looking at it. What I also really like is that you can download the Magic Eraser tool in your photo gallery. Now with this one, you can erase unwanted objects in the background, like a car, a person, or even a whole statue. So you get actually quite a few features with this €250 smartphone. So next up, we got the gaming and the performance. So the Moto G55 runs on the MediaTek Dimensity 7025 and works pretty good in your everyday usage. You can open up apps fast, swipe to the side, scroll through your news tab. All of the normal stuff is no problem with the Moto G55. But when it comes to gaming, things look a little bit different. I would say that you want to play games like Genshin Impact on some medium settings. Right here you will get a smooth gameplay and still some nice graphics. I mean, you can play on high graphic settings, but things get messy sometimes and you get some massive lags. You also have a game turbo with a performance and a battery saving mode. You can block calls and notifications. You can open up apps while you're playing your games, take screenshots, and basically it can do everything that you would expect from a good game booster. Lastly, we got the camera. So we got a 50 megapixel main camera with OIS and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now on the front, we have a 60 megapixel selfie cam, which can shoot videos in 1080p and 30 FPS. Now the back camera is a little bit better with 1080p and 60 FPS. This phone has a few photo modes, like you got a pro and a night mode, portrait mode in which you can adjust the depth of field, sport mode, slow-mo, and a few more. I actually think we get some decent photos with the Moto G55. The shutter speed is fast for a €200 smartphone, the colors look natural and not oversaturated like with the G35 that I have recently tested. You have some contrast and the detail level is also not that bad. On this phone you can also actually use the ultra wide angle camera. You may not have super sharp pictures and the best detail level, especially if you take a picture of a tree with many leaves, but it's better than many other smartphones that you will find in this price category. The colors also don't change at all if you compare them to your normal pictures. This phone has a max zoom of 8 times, but if you want to have some good photos, I will stick to 2 or 3x zoom. Like this you will still get some high quality photos. Now the portrait mode on the main and the selfie camera is good with a good depth of field, which you can also adjust, and you even have a little zoom option for group selfies on your front camera. Technically you also have a macro mode on this phone, but I don't think it's doing a good job. It's super hard to take some good photos with this one. Now guys, I've also tested the Moto G35 and G75. If you want to see one of those videos, just click right here to get right to the video. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more tech videos. And I guess with that one being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.